Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Torghast, Tower of the Damned, is slowly, very slowly turning the screws. For some, it's still a cakewalk, but for others, it's a nightmare that cannot seem to be overcome. So today I thought I would share some of my personal tips for Torghast. Now, Torghast has been a bit of a hit and miss for many. It's the Marmite of WoW features. People seem to either love it and can't get enough of it, or hate it and it really is, I just want to get this done so I can get my Lego and then I'm out of here. I'm never doing this again. Personally, I'm a big fan. It gives me a personal challenge when I just want to run solo and my friends are on, or something fun to do my friends are about, and it doesn't require us to have a fixed group. So somebody goes, oh, I'm not feeling well, that's fine. Go do your thing, and we shall just do some Torghast. But part of that fun is being equal, is feeling like you're doing your bit, that you're pulling your weight. For me, there is nothing worse than being carried on something. And if you're solo, there is nothing worse than hearing about your friends or other players just saying how easy it is, and it's boring. Torghast is just, I just breeze through it, there's no challenge, it's super boring. Especially when you are struggling to clear floors. And that is why my first bit of advice is one that is sadly common for WoW in general. As much as Blizzard will say to you, it's role agnostic, it doesn't matter what you are, you don't need to take a tank, a healer, DPS. The simple truth is that not all are equal. We saw this with the visions. For some, it's just easier than others. Now yes, Blizzard have done much. They have tried to create content that breaks the Holy Trinity. It doesn't matter if you've tank, healers, DPS. Whatever you are, whatever spec you want to play, you can play this content and enjoy it. But the truth is, it's never going to truly be balanced. It's never going to be that way. That's something to aspire to, but we're just not going to hit that. You only need to look at M+. The higher the level, the higher you go in the key, the wider that gap gets between those that are at the cutting edge and those that just sadly lag behind. You can still do it, but when you're right at the edge, you want the very best. Now, I play Warlock, so I have good stopping power, but I also have the benefit of having a tank pet to take that pain, which means my beautiful goblin face is not being punched. Same for a hunter. But if you play a shaman, a mage, a balance druid, etc., you're going to face different challenges. Let's look at it. Let's say you play a tank that has good survivability, but also currently has really nice damage. I'm thinking sort of paladin, demon hunter. And you will fare far easier on a run than, say, a guardian druid, which doesn't have that same pumping DPS at the moment. The point I'm trying to make is don't compare your runs to anyone else's. Don't get frustrated that you can't do what somebody else can. Stick with it. A lot of Torghast, like all things in WoW, is obviously gear-based. The other factor is, and this is something that people forget a lot, or seem to skip over, is how much power you actually gain from Anima. Yeah, as we said with not all is equal, that is so true for Anima power. And that's the next big one we're going to look at, is Anima power is not equal. The biggest single thing that will affect your run is how much the RNG gods love you. Anima powers are very, very far from balanced. We have classes that have some amazing synergy between how their talents, their abilities, their covenant ability, their Anima powers all blend together. And then we have some that just, you have some powers that just don't make sense. Now, some common ones we've got give you amazing powers. They're like must-haves, while epics you look at and just think, well, that's blur at best. Now, for Warlock, we have one which is for each floor, for each level we go up, our pet gains 100% more health and 100% more damage. Game over. If I get this, it's done. It doesn't matter what challenge, doesn't matter how the difficulty is, it's game over. I can charge my pet into a pack of elites, Fellstorm, and he'll kill everything on his own. I know once that appears that whatever a challenge lies ahead, it's going to be a cakewalk. Yet some runs I do and every power I gain apparently makes my demonic gateway better. Well, cheers for that. I kind of know that's a dead run. Simply put, you cannot control everything here. Sometimes the fates just go against you and you get crap. That's why Torghast has no key limit. It would be too much to punish people simply because they got rubbish powers. Just the RNG gods weren't with them. Now, talking about rubbish powers, the biggest thing to take away with Anima powers is ignore what you're told. Ignore what is supposedly amazing and what is poor. Wipe it from your mind. Understand your class, understand how to play it, and more importantly, understand how you play it. Now again, if I take a look at Warlock, we have a power that instantly summons demons. So I don't need any cast times, I can literally just summon my demon if I get this Anima power. It's considered top tier, it is fantastic. Yet, I know friends who play Warlock, and they will heal their pet. They will not let their pet die during combat, which means realistically an instant demon spawn isn't any good for them. There's another Anima power that means that when you heal your pet, they take reduced damage. Now that's way better, but it's not considered top tier. Then all of a sudden, if you look at somebody that's healing their pet by sacrificing their own health, well, anything that gives them more health is all of a sudden far more beneficial than for somebody like me that just wants that instant spawn demon, boop, pop my demon up, put my unending resolve on, and on to the next pack. Knowing the ins and outs of your class is so important. I'm going to repeat that as we go through this. Your talents and how you play is so important for getting the most out of your Anima powers. And that literally leads us into know your class. I'm not just talking about rotations here. I'm not talking about what is the best talent to pick. I'm not talking about going on icy veins and you've read up about what rotation you should do and stuff like that. I'm talking about the sweet, sweet, underused utility abilities that you have. Knowing your class's toolkit will carry you a long way in Torghast and get you out of situations where others would have long died. There will always come that time when you pull a little too much, that moment when you are pulling and just as you engage, boom, 2 stalkers appear. How do you deal with that? A Moor Rat decides that it's done with you trying to attack it, it's going to run off into that pack over there and pull them as well. What are the talents, abilities, cooldowns that you have that can overcome that situation? Learning that, having those abilities at your fingertips, when you need it, makes a hell of a difference. Not just in Torghast, but in fairness, in every aspect of WoW. You will start being that person that when you're running a dungeon, knows, they can just feel it, that something's going sideways, that this pull is a little bit too much. You know, that tank pulls too much for the DPS, or it's not just the tank, the DPS arse pulls a pack that you really didn't want to pull, or maybe the healer's gone and nobody knows. It's times like that it isn't always about deeps and how much DPS you can pump into it. Sometimes a well-placed sheep, fear, mass root, soothe, curse, whatever it may be, will help out far more. Maybe just a little bit of off healing. Yes, your DPS will drop, but those couple of seconds give the tank, the healer, the means that they can get everything back under control. Deep breath, then you can pump and you continue your run. No wipe, no fuss. Good players will notice when you do that. You'll be invited back into groups. People want to add you to their friend list. It helps out all aspects. Torghast is, in my opinion, a great learning ground if you're just getting used to your class. It is far better than Pandaren training grounds. And number 4, this is a big one in WoW. More haste, less speed. Yes, that go, rush attitude that have. I spoke about this a little bit earlier. Not comparing yourself to others. Just because you have seen Big Billy Streamer pull a whole floor and nuke it down in one go, doesn't mean that you need to. It doesn't mean that that's the way it has to be done. Take your time. Go as fast or as slow as you feel comfortable doing. WoW has been around a long time. Some people have played that class since vanilla. They know every button press, every ability, cooldown, utility, and probably have the gear to go with it. You've maybe heard that Shadow Priest is great at the moment. It's really fun to play. Go give it a go. You used your boost when purchasing Shadowlands and you created one. But you don't know all of the ins and outs of that class. You don't know what it can do. You don't know what you can do playing it. So take your time, learn. Pull a couple of mobs. Take them down easily enough? Well then pull a little more. Keep testing your boundaries. Remember you can change your talents in rested areas as well. And they will stay for that Torghast run. But as soon as you go outside, they'll reset back to whatever they were. So you don't need to worry about overwriting your talents. Maximize them to maximize the most of your Anima powers. Also, when you get halfway through, you will be able to see on a little hologram what your end boss is going to be. Have a look at that, memorize it, and then tailor your upcoming Anima powers to fight that boss. Simply put, play at your own pace. Judge your success not by what others do, by what you have done previously. If you beat that particular level of Torghast, if you beat that particular key, then push yourself a little bit more. If not, reset, try again. Next up, we have click and smash everything in Torghast. I know this one seems obvious, but some people are so fixated on the mobs that are in there and just trying to get to the doorway and get to the next floor, they forget that there also is a level of exploration. There's no timer. As much as Torghast is against you, it is trying to help you as well. There is Anima hidden everywhere. There are powers and people that can help you along the way. And not just in Torghast. A number of the table warriors are hidden in Torghast. You talk to these people, they'll help you out, and then they'll join you. Yes, for those fun mini-game mobile phone adventure games that we now have in WoW, they will join your team. Don't be afraid to explore. That should also be this. Click, smash everything, and explore. This goes back to not rushing. Have a look around. You never know. What looks like a dead end may be home to some jar that's got a little bit of black smoke rising out of it, telling you that there's anima power in there. And most of all, have fun. Now, sadly, there is no cheat that I can give you. There is no magic thing that I can say that will make every run instant success. But really, is that what you want? Just instant success guaranteed every time? What fun is a game that we can never lose? All I can say is these are the things that I try to remember every time I go into Torghast. So far, I'm having far more fun than frustrating runs. I've had runs that where on floor 5 I'm thinking this is a bust, there's no way I can do that last boss, I just cannot do this, I can't do this, and then I get the power that turns everything around, and it's a great feeling. We've had content that has been no fail friendly. You can't fail at this, don't worry about it. It was called Warfront, and I for one have no interest in going back to that kind of thing. I like the idea of Mage Towers, I like the idea of Torghast, where potentially we reach a scenario where we can fail, but that feeling of overcoming it is so good. Now I hope these little tips, these little things that I try to remember will help, even just a little bit. It's realistically just common sense. But that is enough from me, ladies and gents. I've been going on way too long now. I want you all to stay safe. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Have a good one, everybody.